Planets. The Mulatrikona explained, Aries Rising. Sun and Venus in the 12th house, Pisces, may appear auspicious. Venus is exalted, and Sun in a moksha house is seen as spiritually oriented. However, from the Mulatrikona of the Sun, Leo, Pisces is 8th, indicating ego dissolution, career disruptions, or lack of consistent authority. For Venus, Pisces is 6th from its MT sign Libra, which typically denotes imbalance, effortful love, and conflict in relationships. This seemingly divine pairing often plays out in emotionally draining or secretive romantic scenarios, limiting the outward benefit usually promised. Jupiter and Moon in the 4th house, Cancer, would traditionally indicate a nurturing, wise, emotionally stable personality. Moon is strong in its own sign, and Jupiter has directional strength here. Yet from Jupiter's MT sign Sagittarius, Cancer is the 8th house, bringing karmic baggage, hidden debts, and emotional undercurrents. From Moon's MT sign Taurus, Cancer is 3rd, which weakens mental resilience and adds emotional impulsiveness. Despite forming a Gajakesari Yoga, the deeper layer of distance from MT shows vulnerability in personal security and unpredictable domestic outcomes. Mars and Venus in the 4th house, Cancer, suggest passion, drive, and aesthetic development at home. But Mars is debilitated in Cancer, and it lies 4th from its MT Aries, causing its assertive energy to be softened or internalized. For Venus, Cancer is the 10th from its MT sign Libra, which on paper activates career and karma. Yet the emotional weight of Cancer can distort Venusian elegance, converting relationships into caretaking roles. This conjunction often results in intense emotional fluctuations at home and romantic decisions driven by security rather than compatibility. Mercury and Saturn in the 9th house, Sagittarius, suggests philosophical depth, disciplined intellect, and ethical clarity. But viewed from Mercury's MT Virgo, Sagittarius is 4th, leading to mental burden linked to family or security. It dulls the quick intelligence of Mercury and slows communication. From Saturn's MT Aquarius, Sagittarius is 11th, which seems favorable for gains. But the clash in elemental nature, Aries Saturn in a fiery Dharma house, complicates expression. The result is a delayed or overly cautious intellectual journey, with Dharma unfolding through struggle. Moon and Mercury in the 8th house, Scorpio, generate curiosity, emotional intelligence, and potential for research or occult insight. However, from the MT of Moon, Taurus, Scorpio is 7th, activating external dependencies and emotional negotiations. From Mercury's MT Virgo, Scorpio is 3rd, reducing intellectual balance and increasing mental restlessness. This results in communication being emotionally charged, often leading to psychological defensiveness or chronic overthinking. Though potent depth work, it limits public-facing or relational harmony. Jupiter and Sun in the 6th house, Virgo, seem to create a noble karma yoga, serving through light and knowledge. But from Jupiter's MT Sagittarius, Virgo is 10th, forcing Jupiter's dharmic wisdom into rigid results-driven frameworks. From Sun's MT Leo, Virgo is 2nd, suggesting wealth and speech, yet lacking authoritative expression. The yoga, therefore, creates silent leaders who work from behind the scenes, often unrecognized despite their value. Ego and expansion must be sacrificed for the sake of duty, leading to service-oriented rather than visionary leadership. Venus and Mercury in the 8th house, Scorpio, may look like a tantra yoga or intellectual intimacy, bringing aesthetic sensitivity to hidden domains. But Scorpio is 3rd from Mercury's MT Virgo and 2nd from Venus's MT Libra. For Mercury, this drains clarity and fills the mind with emotional loops. For Venus, while the 2nd house position promises resources, the 8th house setting makes gains unstable or dependent on partners. The result is highly creative yet psychologically vulnerable individuals whose relational patterns often involve karmic entanglements. Mars and Jupiter in the 3rd house, Gemini, combine initiative with wisdom, which could indicate teaching, strategy, or writing professions. But Gemini is 3rd from Mars's MT Aries, making energy dispersed and prone to overextension. From Jupiter's MT Sagittarius, Gemini is 7th, engaging Jupiter's energy in partnerships or public validation. This often makes the person rely on others for expansion, reducing the autonomy Jupiter thrives on. The yoga becomes more transactional, with the individual needing social reflection to validate action or knowledge. Planets. The Mulatrikona explained, Aries Rising. Saturn in Aries, 3rd from MT Aquarius plus Mercury, Saturn debilitated in Aries lies third from its Mulatrikona Aquarius, a house of courage and skill, but also effort and instability. While the third house from MT doesn't support Saturn's structured temperament, if Mercury joins in Aries, which is eighth from its MT Virgo, both planets become challenged. Yet, this adversity can foster resilience in highly pressured environments like law enforcement, accounting, or mechanical systems. Saturn imposes restraint. Mercury, despite instability, offers strategic processing. The yoga succeeds where sustained effort in the face of chaos is required. Ketu in Virgo, ninth from MT Capricorn Venus. Ketu placed in Virgo becomes ninth from its MT sign Capricorn, forming a powerful Dharma karmic activation despite its debility. The ninth house from MT gives Ketu a spiritualized mission, detached from ego, yet aligned with higher principles. If Venus, which is also debilitated here, joins, the result is a yoga of intuitive artistic grace and detached sensuality. Venus in Virgo is 12th from its MT Libra, indicating emotional loss, but Ketu's trinal placement from MT transforms that into aesthetic refinement and subtle perception. This yoga supports mystic healers, spiritual designers, or reclusive lovers of subtle art forms. Mars in Cancer, fourth from MT Aries plus Jupiter. Mars debilitated in Cancer lies fourth from its MT Aries, a kendra that supports external impact but lacks inspirational flow. If Jupiter conjoins, and Cancer is eighth from Jupiter's MT Sagittarius, both planets are in zones of emotional tension and transformation. Mars loses directness, Jupiter becomes philosophically reactive. Yet, when together, this yoga channels energy into protective service, emotional defense, social activism, or family-driven responsibility. It may produce social workers, caregivers, or disciplined spiritualists working through personal struggle. Rahu in Sagittarius, sixth from MT Cancer. Rahu in Sagittarius is sixth from its MT Cancer, a house of struggle, conflict, and routine. Despite being a dusthana from MT, Rahu here is placed in a dharmic sign. If Sun conjoins, Sagittarius being fifth from Sun's MT Leo, the Sun regains strong karmic expression. This creates a push-pull effect. Rahu challenges norms, while Sun seeks order through Dharma. The result is a reformer archetype, one who seeks leadership in ideological or legal frameworks, but through unorthodox means. It may foster political rebels, human rights advocates, or global influencers with unconventional routes to power. Moon in Scorpio, seventh from MT Taurus plus Moon debilitated in Scorpio is seventh from its MT Taurus, a placement of reflection and dependence. The emotional body seeks validation through others. If Mercury joins, and Scorpio is eighth from Mercury's MT Virgo, both planets operate from hidden, pressured zones. The yoga leans toward psychology, deep analysis, and crisis communication. Though not stable for public fame, it can manifest in therapeutic roles, investigative writing, or occult knowledge. Emotional vulnerability meets analytical depth, ideal for those who guide others through unseen terrains. Jupiter in Capricorn, second from MT Sagittarius is Saturn. Jupiter debilitated in Capricorn lies second from its MT Sagittarius, a zone of family, voice, and value consolidation. Despite the debility, this placement still allows Jupiter to express itself in grounded, practical terms. If Saturn joins, and Capricorn is 12th from Saturn's MT Aquarius, Saturn becomes subdued and inward. Yet this pairing builds a karma-based yoga of structural dharma, teachers, administrators, or judges who emphasize ethical order. Jupiter provides the moral compass, Saturn delivers the policy framework. Their expression is slow but enduring. Mercury in Pisces, 12th from MT Virgo Venus. Mercury in Pisces is 12th from its MT Virgo, typically denoting a loss of precision or analytic sharpness. If Venus joins, Pisces being 6th from Venus's MT Libra, the pairing shifts into emotionally driven creativity. While Mercury suffers in Pisces, it gains poetic instinct. Venus brings idealism in love and aesthetics, but tied to service and imbalance. This yoga is potent in spiritual art, devotional music, or healing speech, where logic gives way to feeling. It's a yoga of creative surrender, not mental dominance. Sun in Libra, third from MT Leo. Sun debilitated in Libra stands third from its MT Leo, a placement of personal effort, communication, and willpower. Sun's ego and confidence are tested here. If Ketu conjoins, and Libra is 10th from Ketu's MT Capricorn, Ketu contributes to non-attachment in worldly karma. The yoga combines subdued authority and withdrawn identity. It can produce renunciates, ethical minimalists, or strategists who influence without direct assertion. Success arises when pride is sacrificed for dharmic duty. The sun radiates through humility, and Ketu silences the need for applause. Planets, the Mulatrikona explained, Leo rising. Sun and Mercury in the ninth house, Aries, form a Buddha Aditya yoga oriented toward Dharma, leadership, and higher education. Aries is the Mulatrikona of Mars, ninth from Leo, but for Sun, which has its MT in Leo, first house, Aries is the ninth, supporting a natural flow of willpower into purpose and belief. However, for Mercury, Aries is eighth from its MT Virgo second house, which creates mental pressure, ideological rigidity, or loss of clarity when dealing with philosophical or spiritual themes. The yoga brings dynamic leadership potential, but also stubborn thought patterns that can alienate mentors or peers. Moon and Saturn in the 10th house, Taurus, suggests persistence, emotional discipline, and long-term karmic focus on career. Moon is in its MT sign here, giving it strength and stability, and the 10th house from Leo supports visibility. For Saturn, Taurus is 10th from its MT Aquarius, 7th house, suggesting hard-earned success and institutional responsibility. However, the emotional contentment of the Moon and the delayed discipline of Saturn may not integrate easily, often leading to a workaholic pattern with internal dissatisfaction. Emotional validation becomes career-dependent. Mars and Venus in the 6th house, Capricorn, offer passion and beauty applied towards service, competition, or healing professions. Mars is exalted in Capricorn, and it's 6th from its MT Aries, 9th house, which indicates karma done through external conflict rather than inner clarity. For Venus, Capricorn is 4th from MT Libra, 3rd house, moving relational harmony into duty-bound territory. The result is a highly functional but emotionally strained connection style. The yoga gives productive drive in litigation, medicine, or activism, but compromises on personal harmony and emotional reciprocity. Jupiter and Mercury in the 8th house, Pisces, form a yoga associated with research, intuition, and mystical wisdom. Pisces is 4th from Jupiter's MT Sagittarius, 5th house, favoring inward knowledge and teaching through emotion. But for Mercury, Pisces is 7th from MT Virgo, 2nd house, making it reliant on others for clarity and mental grounding. This combination often results in subtle intelligence, psychic depth, or intuitive counseling, yet Mercury's logic may dissolve under Pisces' emotional waters, making it difficult to express thoughts linearly. The yoga is powerful but requires emotional containment. Sun and Venus in the 12th house, Cancer, offer creativity and spiritual refinement through detachment or isolation. For Sun, Cancer is 12th from its MT Leo first house, symbolizing ego loss, foreign influence, or institutional retreat. Venus sees Cancer as 10th from its MT Libra, third house, pulling charm and sensuality into career settings, but with emotional strain. The combination may lead to professions in healing, retreat centers, or artistic fields abroad, but often leaves the person with vague self-worth and romantic confusion due to unacknowledged emotional needs. Saturn and Mars in the 7th house, Aquarius, indicate karma through partnerships, requiring responsibility, patience, and effort. Saturn is in its MT sign here, giving strength to long-term commitments. But Aquarius is 11th from Mars's MT Aries, 9th house, and such a position may convert initiative into social performance rather than personal will. Mars resents interference. Saturn demands structure. Their clash in the 7th often results in difficult marriages, power struggles in business relationships, and the need to integrate control with cooperation. The yoga teaches humility through relational friction. Moon and Jupiter in the 5th house, Sagittarius, give a strong Gajakesari Yoga that fosters wisdom, higher knowledge, and creative expression. Jupiter is in its MT sign here, activating full dharmic strength. But Sagittarius is 7th from Moon's MT Taurus, 10th house, linking emotions to public opinion or relationships. The result is a philosophical, generous personality with an emotional need for approval. The yoga is auspicious but risks overgiving or idealizing others. These natives shine in teaching or healing but must guard against burnout from emotional overextension. Mercury and Ketu in the 11th house, Gemini, suggest intellectual detachment, unusual social circles, and unpredictable gains. Gemini is 10th from Mercury's MT Virgo, second house, indicating career success through communication or writing. For Ketu, Gemini is 6th from its MT Capricorn, sixth house, creating karmic entanglements through peers or social debts. The yoga generates a sharp, unconventional mind and success through analytical innovation, but also a tendency toward social withdrawal, skeptical alliances, or feeling alien in large groups despite outward connectivity. Planets, the Mulatrikona explained, Leo rising, Saturn in Aries, 11th from MT Aquarius plus Mercury. Saturn debilitated in Aries sits 11th from its Mulatrikona Aquarius, a house that governs gains, networks, and social fulfillment. Though Aries clashes with Saturn's steady temperament, this distance from MT allows Saturn to deliver results through prolonged effort. When Mercury joins, Aries is 8th from Mercury's MT Virgo, we see a yoga of strategic communication under tension. Mercury seeks expression but feels submerged. Saturn delays but stabilizes. Together, they suit roles in systems planning, logistics, or critical writing, where time-tested messaging triumphs over rapid output. Ketu in Virgo, 9th from MT Capricorn Venus. Ketu debilitated in Virgo lies 9th from its MT Capricorn, activating higher knowledge, philosophical inquiry, and past life merit. Though Virgo makes Ketu anxious with detail, this trinal distance enriches its introspective clarity. If Venus, debilitated in Virgo and 12th from its MT Libra, joins Ketu, we get a yoga of aesthetic detachment and refined renunciation. Venus loses indulgence but gains taste. Ketu disconnects to transcend. This pairing suits spiritual minimalists, sacred artists, or relationship-free creative paths rooted in internal satisfaction rather than romantic entanglement. Mars in Cancer, 4th from MT Aries Jupiter. Mars in Cancer is debilitated and sits 4th from its MT Aries, directing action into emotion, roots, and protective instinct. If Jupiter conjoins, Cancer is 8th from Jupiter's MT Sagittarius. Both operate through subtle transformation and internal resilience. Mars loses aggression and gains emotional response. Jupiter shifts from expansive doctrine to protective care. This yoga fosters leadership in community work, education through empathy, or socially grounded healing. The struggle builds character, ideal for those tasked with rebuilding lives or institutions after crisis. Rahu in Sagittarius, 6th from MT Cancer Sun. Rahu in Sagittarius is 6th from its MT Cancer, a house of karmic repair, service, and hidden enemies. Though debilitated, Rahu in Sagittarius channels energy into challenging norms through knowledge. When Sun joins, Sagittarius is 5th from its MT Leo, a reformist Dharma yoga emerges. Sun seeks to express idealism. Rahu injects disruptive ambition. Together, this combination produces lawyers, preachers, or social critics who blend institutional command with radical restructuring. The Sun's strength from MT supports creative authority. Rahu tests its limits. Moon in Scorpio, 7th from MT Taurus plus Mercury. Moon debilitated in Scorpio stands 7th from its MT Taurus, reflecting emotional balance through others and creating reliance in partnership dynamics. If Mercury joins, Scorpio is 8th from Mercury's MT Virgo. The emotional intellect is challenged yet sharpened. Mercury analyzes what the moon feels, creating depth in counseling, occult sciences, or trauma recovery. While unstable for direct leadership, this pairing excels in invisible power, therapy, behind-the-scenes decision-making, or any domain requiring discretion, sensitivity, and sharp psychological acumen. Jupiter in Capricorn, 2nd from MT Sagittarius Saturn. Jupiter in Capricorn is debilitated, yet 2nd from its MT Sagittarius, activating themes of family, voice, and resources. Though weakened in spontaneity, Jupiter gains structure. When Saturn joins, Capricorn is 12th from its MT Aquarius. It further internalizes this energy into long-term karmic service. The pair is austere but morally grounded, ideal for judiciary, financial ethics, and senior institutional guidance. Jupiter speaks with wisdom, Saturn limits excess. The yoga produces reformers, serious educators, or legacy-minded professionals who lead through principle and restraint. Mercury in Pisces, 12th from MT Virgo Venus. Mercury debilitated in Pisces sits 12th from its MT Virgo, disconnecting it from linear thinking and pushing it into dreamlike insight. If Venus, exalted in Pisces and 6th from its MT Libra, joins, the result is a paradox: intuitive brilliance wrapped in conflict or sacrifice. Mercury may struggle to express clearly. Venus flourishes in imaginative detail. This yoga is artistic, devotional, and deeply emotional. Ideal for compassionate communicators, spiritual musicians, or expressive writers whose medium is subtle and heartfelt, not rational or structured. Sun in Libra, third from MT Leo Ketu. Sun debilitated in Libra lies third from its MT Leo, a house of action, courage, and messaging, but removed from core solar strength. If Ketu joins, Libra is 10th from Ketu's MT Capricorn, this becomes a self-effacing karma yoga. Sun loses centrality. Ketu removes desire. Yet Ketu's 10th from MTA placement gives it functional visibility in societal roles. This yoga is common among reformers, silent power figures, or those who lead through absence, preferring quiet influence over loud dominance. Their impact is real, but never self-promotional. Planets, the Mulatrikona explained. Sagittarius rising. Jupiter and Moon in the 5th house, Aries, form a dharmic and emotionally expressive yoga that encourages leadership, creativity, and idealism. Jupiter, the Lagna Lord, is in the 5th from its MT sign Sagittarius 1st house, allowing it to operate with natural wisdom and visibility. For Moon, Aries is 11th from its MT Taurus 6th house, which can overstimulate emotional needs through achievement or social validation. The yoga fosters inspirational teachers, performers, or guides, but the native may struggle with emotional burnout or idealizing children or followers beyond reason. Sun and Venus in the 8th house, Cancer, bring themes of beauty, charisma, and ego into transformational spaces. Cancer is 12th from Sun's MT Leo, 9th house, forcing its authority to operate in private, mystical, or emotionally volatile domains. For Venus, Cancer is 10th from its MT Libra, 11th house, placing relationship aesthetics and social magnetism in professional or karmic environments. While this yoga creates deep sensuality and hidden strength, it often leads to romantic secrets, power entanglements, or emotional dependency that challenges long-term stability. Mercury and Mars in the 10th house, Virgo, create sharp intellect, problem-solving ability, and ambition directed into public karma. Mercury is in its MT sign here, strong, articulate, and strategic. For Mars, Virgo is 6th from its MT Aries, 5th house, which channels courage into service, competition, and mission-oriented action. The result is often a career-driven individual, great for litigation, medicine, or strategy, but with suppressed creative ease and constant need to prove worth. The native may climb high professionally, but with internalized pressure to outperform. Saturn and Ketu in the 2nd house, Capricorn, reflect a frugal, disciplined, and detached approach to wealth, speech, and family values. Saturn is in its MT sign, anchoring long-term resource stability. However, from Ketu's MT in Capricorn, also 2nd house for Sagittarius, its placement signifies karmic reduction, minimizing attachment to material gain or traditional family identity. This yoga can create wise, silent individuals who accumulate through effort but rarely express comfort with indulgence. There's often a narrative of breaking from ancestral patterns or redefining personal value systems. Mars and Venus in the 7th house, Gemini, form a passionate communicative partnership axis. Gemini is 3rd from Mars's MT Aries, 5th house, turning initiative into dialogue and negotiation. For Venus, Gemini is 9th from its MT Libra, 11th house, blending partnership with philosophical ideals. The result is romantic agility and charm, but often scattered focus or multiple partnerships before settling. Relationships flourish when built on intellectual rapport, but suffer if reduced to flirtation or escapism. The yoga is common in artistic, media, or consulting fields. Jupiter and Saturn in the 3rd house, Aquarius, unite expansion and discipline through speech, communication, and enterprise. From Jupiter's MT Sagittarius 1st house, Aquarius is 3rd, encouraging the spread of philosophy and ideas through effort. For Saturn, Aquarius is its MT sign, grounding this mental expansion in logic and reform. Though the pairing supports policymakers, scientists, and thought leaders, Jupiter's idealism may be periodically frustrated by Saturn's realism. Success comes with consistency, but the native may alternate between belief and skepticism until both integrate. Moon and Mercury in the 11th house, Libra, foster emotional intelligence and social adaptability. Libra is 5th from Moon's MT Taurus, 6th house, energizing creative emotional expression in groups. For Mercury, Libra is 2nd from its MT Virgo, 10th house, making communication a source of income or familial pride. While this yoga benefits social media work, education, or entertainment, it can create dependency on external affirmation. Emotional balance is tied to social feedback loops, which may challenge solitude or self-validation. Sun and Rahu in the 9th house, Leo, project immense authority, philosophical zeal, and potential for public acclaim. Leo is Sun's MT sign, amplifying self-expression, leadership, and moral vision. Rahu in the 9th with Sun intensifies ideological ambition, but may distort judgment or inflate pride. The yoga often shows up in political, religious, or activist profiles. The native becomes a magnetic leader or preacher, but only when ego is kept in check. Otherwise, self-righteousness or guru complex may alienate the very audiences they seek to uplift. Planets, the Mulatrikona explained, Sagittarius rising, continued. Saturn in Aries, 11th from MT Aquarius plus Mercury. Saturn debilitated in Aries lies 11th from its Mulatrikona Aquarius, which still favors outcome-based karma despite discomfort. Saturn loses patience in Aries, but its distance from MT ensures that structured effort eventually yields gains. If Mercury joins, Aries is 8th from Mercury's MT Virgo, mental processing becomes intense and inward. This conjunction supports serious planners, researchers, and infrastructure builders who thrive in technical domains requiring risk calculation and intellectual grit. Though not overtly expressive, their success matures through time, patience, and strategic reinvention. Ketu in Virgo, 9th from MT Capricorn Venus. Ketu debilitated in Virgo is 9th from its MT Capricorn, emphasizing spiritual detachment through intellectual clarity. While Virgo's detail orientation challenges Ketu's abstraction, the trinal distance makes this pairing fruitful for intuitive learning. If Venus joins, debilitated in Virgo, 12th from its MT Libra, the yoga merges refinement with renunciation. Artistic flair becomes devotional, beauty is directed inward. The individual often follows a path of sacred minimalism, ideal for spiritual artists, symbolic designers, or karmic healers who work from solitude, not stage. Mars in Cancer, 4th from MT Aries, Jupiter. Mars debilitated in Cancer is 4th from its MT Aries, grounding initiative into domestic or emotional spheres. Though it loses boldness here, Mars becomes inwardly resilient and protective. When Jupiter joins, Cancer is 8th from its MT Sagittarius, the combination shifts from expansion to deep reform. The individual may become a moral protector, defending values, communities, or emotional truth. Their leadership is emotionally intelligent, often shaped by hardship. This yoga supports spiritual teachers, family counselors, or inner reformers whose strength comes through patient endurance. Rahu in Sagittarius, 6th from MT Cancer Sun. Rahu debilitated in Sagittarius lies 6th from its MT Cancer, urging karmic processing through dharmic disruption. If Sun joins, Sagittarius is 5th from its MT Leo, this yoga energizes the ego to challenge outdated beliefs. The Sun shines through moral clarity, Rahu pushes boundaries. The individual is driven to innovate ideologically, especially in law, academia, or social ethics. Though often met with resistance, their voice challenges orthodoxy and speaks for reformation. The pairing can create popular thought leaders whose ideas stir discomfort but invite evolution. Moon in Scorpio, 7th from MT Taurus, Mercury. Moon debilitated in Scorpio sits 7th from its MT Taurus, placing its emotional security in the hands of others. If Mercury joins, Scorpio is 8th from MT Virgo, the energy becomes penetrating, secretive, and analytical. Though neither planet is comfortable, together they develop insight into emotional subtext and hidden narratives. This yoga produces gifted analysts, investigative writers, or occult psychologists. The moon offers feeling, Mercury deciphers it. While they struggle outwardly, their internal processing is razor-sharp and therapeutically potent. Jupiter in Capricorn, 2nd from MT Sagittarius plus Saturn. Jupiter in Capricorn, 2nd from its MT Sagittarius, aligns wisdom with value transmission, despite its debility. Saturn joining here, Capricorn is 12th from its MT Aquarius, intensifies responsibility. The pair matures slowly but powerfully. Jupiter lends ethical speech. Saturn shapes it into karmic form. The result's a principled advisor, legislator, or mentor whose life stands as a structured embodiment of discipline. This yoga suits legacy builders, financial guardians, or policymakers whose every word weighs with authority earned over time. Mercury in Pisces, 12th from MT Virgo, Venus. Mercury debilitated in Pisces lies 12th from its MT Virgo, disconnecting linear logic but opening doors to intuitive brilliance. If Venus, exalted in Pisces and 6th from its MT Libra, joins, a sensitive, artistic service yoga emerges. Mercury struggles to analyze but finds symbolic clarity. Venus refines and heals through aesthetics. Ideal for devotional musicians, mystic writers, or spiritual consultants, this yoga expresses through symbolic art, compassion, and quiet devotion. Though lacking structure, the combination carries profound depth, attracting those who resonate with emotional subtlety and soul care. Sun in Libra, 3rd from MT Leo, Ketu. Sun debilitated in Libra is 3rd from its MT Leo, making it effortful in expressing individuality. Ego finds challenge in asserting itself, but Ketu positioned here, Libra is 10th from its MT Capricorn, adds detached duty. This yoga produces behind-the-scenes leaders, institutional reformers, or sages in administrative clothing. They lead not through loud authority, but through karmic alignment and silent perseverance. Sun channels its fire through diplomacy. Ketu removes attachment to outcomes. The result, action without self-interest and legacy without fanfare.